Tonight, bipartisan attention. Why the move to impeach President Trump a week before his term ends is gaining Republican support. And side effects reported. Why an Ascension nurse reported an uncomfortable reaction to the COVID vaccine. Plus, nowhere to turn. Why some restaurants in Minnesota are feeling left out in the cold when it comes to COVID relief.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us tonight. With about a week left in President Donald Trump's term, lawmakers are taking steps aimed at removing him from office. Democrats have been leading the push, but now some top Republicans are joining them. Skylar Henry reports from Capitol Hill.
On Tuesday night, the House began debating a resolution to urge Vice President Mike Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment and remove President Trump from office. But in a letter to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, the vice president said he would not move against the president, writing that it would not be in the best interest of the nation. The House will then seek to impeach President Trump for a second time, with a single article accusing him of inciting an insurrection at the Capitol.
You'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong.
In his first public appearance since last week's violence, the president denied he was responsible for what happened.
If you read my speech, and many people have done it, and I've seen it both in the papers and in the media, on television, it's been analyzed, and people thought that what I said was totally appropriate.
The president said Democrats are dividing the nation.
To continue on this path, I think it's causing tremendous danger to our country, and it's causing tremendous anger.
Here on Capitol Hill, there are signs of growing division within President Trump's party. A handful of GOP lawmakers say they support the impeachment effort. That includes Wyoming Congresswoman Liz Cheney, the House's third-ranking Republican. In a statement, she said the president could have immediately and forcefully intervened to stop the violence. He did not.
All of us should do some soul-searching about 5 dead Americans and a country on edge and an inflamed right wing which thinks that we are on the verge of a civil war.
The New York Times is reporting that Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is pleased with the impeachment effort, believing it could make it easier to purge the president from the Republican Party.
Meanwhile, Minnesota's 8th District Congressman will not vote to impeach the president. Talking to the Star Tribune, Congressman Pete Stauber said impeachment would only further divide the country. He added it's time to, quote, tone down our rhetoric and understand that first and foremost, we're Americans. Stauber does, however, plan to attend the inauguration. All right, let's get a quick look at the weather with Dave. Dave, mild day out there today. I feel like some of the snow is starting to melt in the parking lane in front of my house and kind of sloppy out there.
You know, you're right. My driveway's getting a bit sloppy, too. I see exactly where I missed with the snow.
Yeah.
And now do I bother shoveling it or hope it melts or wait the snow blow when we finally get some more snow here in a couple of days? Finally, we're going to break our snow drought. Taking a look at the current situation, we've got the tail end of a trough keeping the clouds up in our area, but there's also a warm front looming coming our way attached to a bigger low pressure system, which could bring us a snow chance, a good snow chance for both Thursday and Friday, and in fact could kick things off Wednesday evening for Minnesota before filling into Wisconsin and Michigan once we get into said Thursday and Friday. So our Wednesday forecast says tonight, mostly cloudy. Wednesday, mostly cloudy, warmer than normal again for the low at 20 and the high at 35. But once we get through the snowy period coming around, we will cool down. So we'll talk about how low the temperatures could go for the weekend and how much snow we're looking at now coming up in just a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. After a 2020 defined by the pandemic and partisan gridlock in Wisconsin, Governor Tony Evers began 2021 with his State of the State address. During tonight's speech, he highlighted 3 issues that need to be addressed. CBS 3's John Cardinelli watched the virtual address tonight. John, what did the governor focus on?
Tony, Governor Evers started off by addressing a problem many in northern Wisconsin face, which is high-speed internet access. Evers says a quarter of the state's population lacks access to high-speed internet. He said the pandemic made this problem especially clear as children had to move to virtual learning and businesses had to adapt to online sales. Evers says high-speed broadband is crucial to the state's economic recovery, which is why he plans to invest in it.
My 2021-23 biennial budget will invest nearly $200 million over the biennium into broadband. That's 5 times the amount invested in the 2013, 2015, and 2017 budgets combined.
Evers also focused his speech on the state's high unemployment rate, saying the pandemic has contributed to higher jobless rates than the Great Recession. Therefore, he's calling on the legislature to help fix what he calls a broken unemployment system.
I'm announcing today I will be calling a special session of the legislature to take up a plan to modernize our unemployment system and help ensure nothing like this happens to the people of Wisconsin again.
And finally, Evers addressed redistricting. He says he's pledging to take on the issue in his 2021-23 biennial budget to fix what he calls gerrymandered districts. Evers ended his address by saying the state has made it through a difficult year, and while it's been a discouraging time, he knows the people of Wisconsin will answer the call to move forward and grow stronger than ever.
Okay, John Cardinelli live for us in the newsroom tonight. Thanks, John. Meanwhile, Wisconsin's Republican Assembly Speaker Robin Vos responded to Evers' address tonight, slamming the governor's vaccine distribution plan and saying the state's projected budget surplus is because Republicans stood up to the governor and cut taxes. Nurses at Essentia Health received their second dose of the coronavirus vaccine last week. Now, some are reporting side effects similar to COVID-19 symptoms. CBS3's Kendall Jarbo spoke with one of the nurses who explains why those symptoms are happening and why they shouldn't stop someone from getting the vaccine.
Julie Pierce is an emergency medicine nurse practitioner at Essentia. She received the second dose of the Pfizer vaccine on Friday and noticed a reaction.
At about 11 hours, I started to feel a little bit of discomfort in my neck, and then it was just sort of a drop off from there where I just started to feel fatigued. My body ached all over.
Pierce knew the vaccine might cause some symptoms. She wants people to know it's the body's process of building immunity.
While I was experiencing that and it was not pleasant, I knew that my body was mounting a robust response to COVID.
The CDC warns of side effects after the second dose, but they are normally mild and low risk.
The risk and the side effects you would have from the vaccine are significantly lower than the risk and the effects you would have from actually getting the COVID infection.
As more people receive the vaccine, Pierce wants you to know you might feel a reaction, but you shouldn't worry.
You did not just get COVID. You did not just get ill. It is not an adverse reaction. It is an expected immune response, and your body's doing its job.
After 30 hours, Pierce is symptom-free and sharing a message of calm as more people get vaccinated.
Pierce recommends if you are getting the vaccine, schedule it when you won't have obligations on the next day. Meanwhile, experts say the Moderna vaccine appears to give people at least a year's worth of protection from COVID-19. According to the company, Moderna will test to see if a third dose of the vaccine will result in longer protection. The current 2 needed doses of the vaccine are given about a month apart. Financial help from the state has been many small businesses' only lifeline during the pandemic. But now Minnesota has changed who qualifies for that help, leaving some restaurant and bar owners with nowhere to turn. Here's CBS 3's Emma Quinn.
The latest COVID-19 relief bill Minnesota legislators passed in December has helped some restaurants financially, but left others, like Locker Room Bar and Grill owner Ron Mackey in Coleraine, still in deep water.
We need it more than ever, and the system failed us.
This latest COVID relief bill takes into account a restaurant's sales tax loss for the second and third quarters of 2020. If they lost more than 30%, they qualified for funding.
We were closed in April and part of May, and then we were open for the whole summer. We ended up at 28%, and so we fell 2% short of getting that funding, which we really desperately need.
Previously, restaurants or bars would qualify for state funding if they lost more than 25% sales tax in any quarter of 2019. But members of the Duluth Restaurant Association say the new calculations aren't very equal since they're based on a time when restaurants could be fully open.
The unfortunate part is they are causing us so much strain right now when we just came off a 45-day shutdown, but basing it on numbers when we actually had people coming.
Minnesota state legislators legislature changed the requirements so larger restaurants who weren't struggling as much wouldn't get as much funding. Restaurant owners say it doesn't matter the size of business, everyone is hurting.
The size of the community, unfortunately, doesn't matter. You know, there's businesses in communities of very small and very large that are being affected.
A rep for the Department of Revenue said the legislation also gave funding to each Minnesota county to set up local relief programs. Businesses that don't qualify for relief from the state can work with their local programs. Still to come on Live Local CBS3, the discovery of iron ore in northern Minnesota changed the lives of many. How one local hopes to honor the early Iron Range workers. Stay tuned. Ion Mining is coming up next.
34 below. This date's record low from 1912. Well, we're not going to get that cold this weekend when we finally do cool down, but I'll talk about how low we'll go and how much snow we'll get in between coming up after our break.
Live, local, CBS3 News at 10 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, Kelly Hinson, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live, local, CBS3.
Local news and local weather here on CBS3.
Menards has everything you need for your painting project. We have the best brands, best quality, and best prices, period, on paints from Pittsburgh. Choose your paint colors with confidence. We offer free custom color matching and tinting to create over 2,000 color options. Grand distinction is a paint and primer in one with a distinctively rich and beautiful color. A gallon is $30.98. Now, during Menards Project Day sale.
Save big money at Menards.
Hi, I'm Steve Little, owner of Your Home Improvement Company. 2020 was an unbelievable year for all of us. As a family-owned and operated business, we have been doing our best to stay focused on you this past year with our zero interest and zero payments until 2022 program. Thank you for allowing us to assist you in updating your most lived-in asset during this difficult time, your home. From all of us at Your Home Improvement Company, Bath Planet, and my family to yours, have a healthy, happy, and safe new year.
Mining. It's a part of Minnesota's history that affects everyone in the Northland still to this day. From environmental issues to economics and so much more. Join me, Kristen Vaki, every Tuesday for Ion Mining, a fair and unbiased report that answers the tough questions surrounding the world of mining.
Eye on Mining with Kristen Vaki. Tuesdays at 10 only on Live Local CBS3. Brought to you by Iron Mining Association.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me to understand how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my community and those I care about safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting nationalguard.com.
Heart attacks and strokes happen, even in the midst of COVID-19, and at least one will occur while you're watching this. Heart attacks and strokes are medical emergencies. If you experience symptoms of a heart attack or stroke, do not delay seeking care. Call 911 immediately. Hospitals are prepared and can safely treat you. Visit cdc.gov/coronavirus to learn more.
Now, the CBS3 Duluth Weathermax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Well, the streets have been pretty clean. That's one bright way to look at the lack of snow for the past couple of weeks. Of course, there are some snow fans out there want more, and we finally will get more. As early as tomorrow night, it could begin. So, again, these clean roads likely will be disappearing. This is a live look at what's going on in Virginia right now. And Virginia and the rest of the region has a good 60% chance for the snow starting Wednesday night and lasting until Friday night. I'll show you how much I think we're going to get in just a bit. But here's what we're getting right now at the airport in Duluth. 24 degrees for the temp, 88% for the relative humidity. Westerly winds going 13 miles per hour, and our air pressure is slowly dropping now down to 29.8 inches of mercury. And by tomorrow night, yeah, it could be low enough finally to create some precipitation, low enough to lift up the clouds, high enough for precip, and enough moisture coming in with this new low to turn anything out besides just plain cloud. Current temps mid-20s we'll call it for the Upper Peninsula, anywhere from the upper teens to upper 20s in northwestern Wisconsin. Solon Springs Airport seems to be the cool spot, and over towards La Pointe and Red Cliff, that'll be the warm spot. Into Minnesota, wider variety of temperatures going on because of the bigger territory to cover here. As warm as 30 right by the lake in Grand Marais, as cool as 20 for Hibbing, and upper 20s in Grand Rapids at this moment. East central Minnesota, middle 20s. Mid-20s roughly for the Vermilion and Mesabi Iron Ranges as well, and just a hair warmer towards Borderland, International Falls at 27. Happening right now, clouds. A few clouds left over from a trough of lower pressure that's exiting our picture, and fresh clouds pushing in advance of our low pressure system that we've been watching for a while. Currently, it's still struggling across the Rocky Mountains, but this time around, the Rockies will not wring out the system's moisture, or at least not all of it. It'll still have enough to bring it to our region. So for Wednesday, we start the day on a cloudy note. By Wednesday night, Minnesotans may get a little bit of snow starting, but it's going to be Thursday and Friday when all zones face the best chance for the precip. It's going to be a 60% chance both Thursday and Friday, and by the time it wraps up late Friday night, I'm thinking now the range of snow is going to go about 4 to 8 inches around our area. Very close to 8 here in the Twin Ports, a little bit closer perhaps to the 4 over towards Bemidji, and a similar range will run through the UP and northwestern Wisconsin. But if we spread that out over 2 days, it really shouldn't be too bad. I don't think it's going to be a blizzard this time around. Tonight in Minnesota, mostly cloudy sky with low temps from 16 to 23. Our friends in Wisconsin and Michigan, 19 to 21 for the low temps, with a mostly cloudy sky and a south wind, 5 to 10. For tomorrow, partly sunny in Wisconsin, Michigan. Highs in the upper 30s as that warm front with the low gets in here. Partial sunshine is possible, but I think it'll be mostly cloudy most of the day in Minnesota with high temps in the mid to maybe upper 30s. And so, of course, here then comes the extended forecast with 2 to 4 inches of snow both for Thursday and Friday, adding up to a range of 4 to 8. In turn, drying up, maybe not really clearing up, but cooling down through the weekend back towards normal, which means a high of 19 and a low in the single digits, Tony.
Okay, I see you up your snow totals just a little bit as we learn more about that snowstorm.
That was the latest model run that you saw on that map.
Yeah, lots of people will be excited that you upped it just a hair.
And others are going, you know, because, you know, letter carriers don't like to have too much snow as they go about their routes.
Yeah, make sure you shovel for them.
As usually, indeed. Yeah. That I can do.
All right, thanks, Dave. The discovery of iron ore in northern Minnesota changed the lives of many. Now, a new song honors that. Kristen has more in this week's Eye on Mining.
Generations ago, families left their home countries in search of a better life. Many didn't know the language, the area, or even what kind of work they would be doing when arriving to the Iron Range. The determination and grit they had during those difficult times now lives on through song.
Iron ore.
Honoring history through music.
That song means a lot to me.
Meet Steve Sokola, dubbed a jack of all trades.
I'm a comedian, musician, stuntman, in that order of not lucrativity, but passion.
This proud Iron Ranger is known to sing a tune.
I have a one-man comedy band where I do lots. I play 17 things at once with a cymbal helmet.
And while cracking a joke is his specialty, Steve went a different route with a song about his family's history.
Then he heard of a land with citizens not subject to the Russian Tsar. Great-great-granddad came from Vehekura, Finland, long journey to work in the Sudan underground mine, and then the great-granddad followed suit.
A familiar story for many people with Iron Range ties, and one Steve felt needed to be told.
My great-granddad, he was a miner, spent his whole youth underground. It's true. He traded his healthy back for bread. And, you know, nowadays it's hard to know how the heck did someone make that decision to put all their life savings and hop on a boat and go to somewhere where nobody had ever really heard of.
The inspiration for the song came while he was visiting the very mine his family members worked at.
Believe it or not, I was composing that at the Sudan underground mine. I was going down and I was thinking, somebody ought to write a song about a miner going deep down into the mine, and it starts up high and it goes down super low till it's really low.
Using his talents,
My great-granddad's spirit speaks to me. He says, do what you gotta do.
to make sure the work of so many is never forgotten.
And sweat, blood, and darkness that one cannot define. That's an itty-bitty taste of what a miner faced in an underground mine. I wake up early and I stay up late getting all kinds of work done. I know that's been embedded into me through many generations of risk-taking people that came all the way across an ocean and fought till their fingers were bleeding and their ears didn't work anymore in a mine to make sure there's bread on the table. And I don't take that anything but personal to help myself be motivated.
The music video for Iron Ore was done in collaboration with the Iron Range Tourism Bureau, Minnesota Discovery Center, and filmmaker Matthew Koshmal. You can find more of Steve's work on Facebook and YouTube.
What a story. Thanks, Kristen. Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, we are learning that a legendary Iron Range journalist has passed away. More details coming up next.
CBS 3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
At Miners National Bank of Eveleth, we know it takes knowledge, dedication, and teamwork to be the home loan experts. With over 115 years and 4 family generations, we have proven we have the experience to be the best in the business. For your first or next home loan, call the experts you can trust at Miners National Bank. Their teamwork is unmatched, and they will bump out any rough spots along the way. Make your house a home with Miners National Bank.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
I don't think any other year is ever going to be like 2020. I never thought that I would go through something like this ever in my life. This pandemic's not a isolated thing to our country or to our state or to our city. This is something that's affecting the world. And that just shows really how interconnected we all are. And I think that's why news is so important, because news is kind of like that lifeline to kind of bring that information out and bring us all together.
Watch Jenna and Caitlin in the morning at 5 and 6 a.m.
I can't even hug her. I'm touching people. I'm touching you. I'm touching you.
This show is about connection. And not even 2020 and socially distancing ourselves, they're going to get in the way of that.
Are we 6 feet apart?
Let's just check it out.
The major key is to make sure they watch the Kelly Clarkson show.
This year's been just a huge year. We've had everything going on with the pandemic. It's hard to not have your heart go out to those people, the millions that have been impacted by that. That's why we do what we do, to try and keep people in the know. What's going on with this? When is it going to end? When's the vaccine going to be here? How is this impacting you? Where are resources to help you get through the pandemic and keep you and your family safe through all of this?
For coverage that matters most to you, tune to Live Local CBS 3. When you watch CBS 3,
we have local elected officials inside.
You receive detailed and up-to-date information. You heard local reaction.
To do something for the people.
For news that matters most to you, continue watching Live Local CBS.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
For coverage that matters most to you, tune to CBS 3.
Bill Hanna, a titan of Iron Range journalism for more than 3 decades, has died. According to the Mesabi Tribune, Hanna died at his home in Virginia Monday morning. He was the longtime executive director of the Mesabi Daily News and had been with the paper for more than 30 years. In 2016, he suffered a massive heart attack and later underwent a successful heart transplant. But recently, he was diagnosed with terminal cancer and passed away Monday. He was 70. Still ahead in sports, Big Ten matchup tonight as Wisconsin takes on Michigan. Kelly's got the highlights next.
Eye on Mining is brought to you by Iron Mining Association, Range Regional Airport, and Miners National Bank of Evelyn.
It's the final days of Home's New Year's sale. Take up to an extra 10% off sale prices, plus 0 down, 0% interest financing on any purchase until 2022, and free no-contact shipping. Up to 10% off sale prices. Hurry, Home Furniture's New Year's sale ends Saturday.
In the Army National Guard, family means everything.
Our parents, they were really supportive that all 5 of us would join. I got my education because of the Guard. I got to travel a little bit and experience a whole different culture. It helped me get my job, helped me pay for my house. Being part-time really helped because I could have some opportunities that were still in education.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard instills pride that you and your family will share. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service.
There are a lot of choices when it comes to automotive care, but how can you find someone you trust? At East End Auto, our customers have trusted us for the past 20 years to provide them with the best auto care. As your area's full-service repair shop, with the most modern equipment available to us, and backed by a 2-year, 24,000-mile nationwide warranty, honesty is what our customer relationships are built upon.
Locally family-owned and operated. Stop out to see why East End Auto is the community's trusted auto repair home.
Mount Royal Market has express online shopping. Shop online and select your items. Your personal shopper carefully gathers everything on your list. Schedule your pickup and we deliver right to your car. Express online shopping from Mount Royal Market. Let us take care of you.
Complying with national guidelines is made easy with the CEDA's commercial touchless forehead thermometer. The instant read LCD digital display yields an accurate body temperature reading from 2 to 4 inches within half a second. From schools, offices, shops, and all other public places, keep yourself safe and compliant with a hands-free thermometer that's easy to install and easier to use. Visit www.cedusonline.com. That is CETUSonline.com.
Flying from the big city can be stressful with traffic, parking fees, busy concourses, and security lines, and that long drive home. At Range Regional Airport, we take the stress out of flying. We're close to home with free parking, short lines, comfortable lounge, and quick access through security. Take the stress out of flying. Fly Range Regional Airport, Hibbing.
Don't let the weather ruin your day.
Covered by a winter storm watch.
Dave Anderson, Caitlin Moffitt, and Peter Kavitkauskas. The CBS3 weather team, tracking more than just severe storms. Dave.
During the New Year's sale at Home Sleep Express, buy a Beauty Rest mattress and finance it with 0% interest for 6 years, plus free delivery, setup, and a 120-day guarantee. Sleep better on Beauty Rest pocketed coil spring system. 6 years, 0% interest on Beauty Rest. Home's New Year's sale at Sleep Express.
Now, CBS3 Sports with Kelly Hinson.
Big Ten basketball action this evening. Wisconsin is 10-2 on the year, but they've been struggling as of late. They dropped their game against Maryland back on December 28th. Then they barely escaped Indiana with a double OT win 5 days ago. Meanwhile, their opponent tonight, Michigan, is rolling with a 10-0 record and double-digit wins in 9 of those. First quarter doesn't take long for our first highlight. Isaiah Livers drops the opening bucket right on Nate Rivers' head. Quick smackdown gives Michigan the lead. Same frame, Wisconsin. Nate Rivers getting a small amount of payback as he gets the layup to go from underneath the basket. Badgers should enjoy that, though, because it'd be the last one of the half with more than 6 minutes to go. Midway through the second, and the Badgers have just scored 1 basket since the last one you saw. Not the same story for Michigan. Chandre Brown follows the Livers miss, follows it back from down that Michigan bench. You saw it was deceased. The Wolverines were just too much for Wisconsin tonight, 77-54. They win the final. Well, we are just 2 days away from the start of winter sports in the state of Minnesota. Teams are going through their final run-throughs during practice before they get to return to action on Thursday. That includes the Hermantown boys hockey team, who made the deepest run out of all the boys Northland hockey teams last season, making it to the state final game. They lost that heartbreaker in overtime to Matamidi, which coaches say those who are returning to this year's roster are using as a motivation.
These guys are motivated, really motivated, especially that senior group. Joey and the boys, like, they want to get back there. They're motivated to try to get a 4-state championship for sure. And that's their goal every year, is to get down to the X and try to win a championship.
Despite only have 10 days to prepare and practices for the upcoming season, many of the players have taken advantage of those Hermantown outdoor rinks.
We were able to be outside skating a lot before we could be inside here, and that was great. But these last week has been definitely good for us to just be back together inside as a team all again on the ice.
And the boys hockey team opens up this season on Thursday night across the bridge against Superior. And high school hockey on My 9 is coming, but note a few changes in the schedule that we'll see early in the season. First game is this Thursday at 7 p.m. as Cloquet hosts the Grand Rapids boys hockey team. Note the time change for Saturday's game as Duluth East and Cloquet, which will now start at 7:30. And for a full list of games this season that we are broadcasting, you can head to our website, CBS3Duluth.com, and click on the sports tab. The NBA and the NBA Players Association announced an agreement on additional measures to supplement current health and safety protocols as the COVID-19 pandemic continues. For at least the next 2 weeks, NBA players and team staff are required to remain at their homes when the team is in its home market at all times, except to attend team-related activities at the team facility or arena, exercise outside, or perform essential activities, or as a result of extraordinary circumstances. We'll end on this note. My favorite story of the day: who is Aaron Rodgers? That question can now be followed by the answer: Jeopardy host and Packers quarterback. The Green Bay quarterback will be filling in on an episode of Jeopardy after late host Alex Trebek's final episode aired this past Friday. The popular game show has been trying out new people in the role. No word on when Rodgers' episode will air, probably following, when they're done with their playoff run. He once appeared on a celebrity episode of Jeopardy and has been a fan of the show since he was a kid. That's going to do it for sports tonight. We'll be right back after the break.
Change the future of medicine from the convenience of home. Join the All of Us research program to help improve health research and speed up medical breakthroughs. Visit essentialhealth.org/allofus to learn more.
Still hard to find a spot, just easier to park. Still the big move, just more moving. Still singing, just more in tune. Still the gang's all here, just less are we there yet. The Chevy family of SUVs, making life's journey just better.
Get a $5,500 cash allowance on most 2020 Equinox models. Plus, current Chevy owners with an eligible GM credit card get an additional $1,750 total allowance. Visit TrueNorthChevyDealers.com.
CBS3.
Stop the steal.
You receive detailed and up-to-date information. You heard local reaction.
To do something for the people.
We have local elected officials inside the Capitol.
Elect after a wild day in Washington.
Democracy is fragile.
The protests and riots taking place at the United States Capitol as
for news that matters most to you, continue watching live, local, CBS3.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Skilled trade workers are the backbone of every community, and also the Army National Guard. Soldiers get paid training to keep the power flowing, engines running, and supplies moving. Army National Guard soldiers are learning skills that can set them up for success with companies looking to hire the best.
The Army National Guard basically built my resume for me.
Find out how you can learn a trade and serve part-time for your community and country by visiting nationalguard.com.
Men's wardrobe provided by Mainstream Fashions for Men, celebrating 30 years in business in 2021 with 30% off store-wide, downtown Duluth.
All right, Dave, one more mild one on tap before we get a bunch of snow, huh?
That's about the way it looks, Tony.
Okay.
Eyeing up our 7-day forecast, will be around 35 with a cloudy sky on Wednesday. From the clouds, finally kicking out some snow Thursday and Friday. 60% chance for snow both days, 2 to 4 inches each day. Gives us a range of 4 to 8.
Thanks for joining us tonight.